Welcome to our tutorial on adding users through the admin portal. In this video, we'll cover two methods for users creation. Let's jump right in. Alright, so we're now logged into our admin portal. Okay. And like I mentioned, we're going to be covering two different methods for creating users. The very first one is through the import-export manager. So we'll navigate to the Import-Export Manager tab in the admin portal, which is right here at the very top. Next, we'll need to download the template. You can choose to download it with pin or without voicemail pins. All right, so I'm going to show you what that looks like. All right. So here we have a blank version of the document. So I'm going to switch to the one I just downloaded from the website. Okay. So you can see it's pretty straightforward. We have first name field, last name, email. You can choose to designate IDs, of course, extension, the service plan, etc. Not every field is filled in, and that makes sense because it really depends on what your current setup looks like, but you can get a real good idea on what is expected when you're creating users or deleting users in bulk. So we can obtain this blank template from the onboarding team. All right, and you can choose to create them from here. So pretty straightforward. You need to fill in all these fields depending on your needs, right? So an extension, service plan, again, this all depends on your current setup and your business needs, of course. So once we've got all the details filled in, and actually, we also have an option to, we have some instructions on the website which can help you fill in the template in question. Okay. So once you've got your template filled in with all the details you need, we'll need to upload the completed template back into the admin portal, which is right here. Okay. So after importing, we'll click on choose file, we'll pick the file and then hit upload. The system will process the file and create the users or apply the modifications for you. It will also display any cost increases associated with the new users, if applicable. All right, so this was Import-Export Manager. All right, so next we're going to be covering how to add users, quote unquote, manually. All right, this is done through View Manager. So let's go in. Going to View Manager, we'll go to Users. Okay. Then we'll go into Actions and select New User. So a couple things to keep in mind. We need to mind and look for red asterisks. These indicate mandatory fields. Okay. So let's go with a quick ID, which I'll set to J Doe. First name, you guessed it, John Doe. Well, John, last name Doe. That's fine. We'll go with auto assign extension for this exercise, but you can also, enter one manually and then check for availability if needed. Next, we'll need to pick a service plan. Again, this will depend entirely on your business needs. Let's just go with the Business Plus for the sake of this exercise. All right, so voicemail pin. This will come predefined, but you can change it if needed. Okay. Have different options here to record calls, enable connect meetings. All right, so my recommendation is taking care of these initial fields. So ID, first, last name, extension, service plan, and then jump right straight to the email, which I'll just set to jdoe@domain.com. All right. So again, you can choose to create the user and go into each one of these sections. But I think the easier route is taking care of the initial fields we need to take care of. So we have ID, first, last name, we've got a business plan, and we have the email set. All right. Now, if you check the box right next to email, the system will send out an immediate welcome email to the new user. So just keep that in mind. Just leave that as is right now for now. Go into actions and hit save. All right, save. And there we go. We've got jdoe ID, right? First and last name, John Doe. We've got our very first user created. Okay. Now, once that is set, you can choose to come in and modify your user's attributes, right? You can jump in and go straight into user info. Got a service plan, which we can also edit right here. You can set a new voicemail pin if that's needed. All right. You can also choose to modify personal settings such as time zone, add networking, social networking links, etc. Right? You can go into groups, adding the user to, different calling groups if you have that available and if the user needs it on this specific scenario, right? We've got available add-ons, right? We've got CCA, which it's necessary if you anticipate needing any potential integrations in the future, right? Digital fax, etc. You can choose to enable purchase add-ons, or purchase them from here. Also, we can set billing groups, which again, just for this exercise, I'm going to leave it to the default one. You can come in and set different attributes such as, audio conferencing, call routing issues, SMS settings, call recording settings, like you can enable call recording to yes, right? We can change, we can assign a DID if that's needed, of course. And really there are numerous options and values that you can go through once you have your user created. So my recommendation is setting up the user from scratch with the very basic information like ID, first, last name, a service plan, and an email address. You save that, and then you can come in from this same view in View Manager and apply any changes that you need to, modify for your users. So again, there's a bunch of stuff that you can configure for your users. Voicemail, smart box, we have roles. If you can assign like an admin privileges to this user, super admin, reporting admin permissions also, login settings, we have different options to choose from really. but the main point is creating the user from scratch. And then again, you can come in and modify if needed. All right. So let's say we just, we changed or the voicemail settings or the voicemail pin or something like the business plan to, business basics, something like that. Well, then we can come into actions and hit save. This will apply the changes. All right. You even get notification again if there is any update on the pricing. Okay. So just a couple things to keep in mind. So we'll hit continue. And there we go. Our JDoe user has been edited successfully. So again, it's pretty straightforward. We can do it in bulk with portexportmanager. You can even delete users from here. Just be careful. Or if you're just going to be dealing with one user, maybe two, then I guess it makes sense doing it, quote unquote, manually through our View Manager tab. Okay. So I hope that was useful. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or need further assistance, feel free to reach out to our support team.